don't mention it. You just
operation is not going well. Don't lie about the war. Do not lie about the war, Jesse. You're lying.
I'm prepared to come out.
Good morning, Liberty. Happy Monday to everyone. The Iran war is still happening. That's still the thing that everyone is talking about, so that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, I'm going to tell everyone to hit like on the YouTube video that you're watching right now, comment, subscribe, do all of those things. Do you agree with what we're about to say? Do you agree with the war? Tell me right now, is this war a good thing or is it a bad thing? What do you think? Is this America first? Is this MAGA? Or is it some other weird agenda that's ominously similar to something that we've already lived through in recent decades?
I only know.
Not sure.
I only know one thing that guides my path: history.
Whatever Trump says. Yeah, that's what it is.
It's history.
That's what guides your feet. Is the lamp of Truth Social.
The Trump train.
Yes,
the Trump train.
The headlights that are on the Trump train. That's what guides your path. So the war's still going on. I traveled this weekend, and I do. You know, if you watch Fox News, I got to tell you, I watched a lot of Fox News this week. Way more Fox News than I ever watch. The weirdest thing right now is it sounds like this war has been won. Like this is already mission accomplished.
Oh,
like it's basically over already. And then also they did pick Khamenei's son to be the new Ayatollah. And I got one question. I actually need someone to help me answer this. How is it that we took out the Ayatollah Khamenei, Ali Khamenei, and we took out many of the other potential successors in multiple strikes? And I even remember Trump in an interview in the Oval Office saying, yeah, we had some other people, but they're all dead. We thought we had this guy, they're all dead. It's number 2, number 3, these people we thought might take over. Our strikes were so good.
Yeah, we killed them all.
Yeah, we killed them all. That's how successful the strikes were, even some of the people that we liked. And so we did multiple strikes, and by we, from the research I've been able to do, it looks like Israel actually conducted those strikes, but the fog of war right now, I don't know exactly what's going on with the strikes. But then when it came to selecting this guy, which there was publicity around because I heard about it many times that they were having this meeting on Fox News while I was watching. They were like, yeah, they're having this meeting. These experts are getting together and all that. How did this meeting not get hit?
This is just so weird.
That's my random question I have right now. How was this meeting allowed to take place? And this guy was allowed to take over. But the people that we thought may potentially be decent successors that we had on a list of people that we could potentially deal with all got taken out in the other strikes. But this one is allowed to take place and he's allowed to take over. That's weird to me. It's just weird. One of the things, well, before we get to the oil depots getting hit and the refineries and all that, and then the conversation about the school, that's looking more and more like it was the U.S. who did that. I want to show you just some of the stuff that happened on the news and a few of these clips for Fox News. Like this is how this poor girl here on the 5, she tried to bring in some of the other, there's another viewpoint that this war is not just going perfect. And just the attitude that she gets at the end of this clip for suggesting that this is not going well on Fox News, of all places. My God, I'd be shocked if she still has a job. Listen to this clip.
Well, the right would have you believe that it's been an imminent threat for 47 years, even though we were sending birthday cakes all around. And Jesse says in 5 or 10 years, it could have gotten really bad. That would have given us a little more time to think this through. And you guys basically listening to you should just wave that mission accomplished banner and go back to that kind of era, because you're talking as if that this is a done deal, that we are so overwhelming them that nothing can go wrong, when the facts on the ground are that things are going wrong. Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Reuters, NBC confirming that it was U.S. airstrikes that were responsible for hitting that Iranian school. Over 150 people dead, dozens of children. You talk about our new allies in the region, and I have given President Trump his flowers multiple times about the Abraham Accords, but the FT reporting that our partners like the Saudis, the Emiratis, Kuwaitis, Qataris are talking about withdrawing from contracts with us and suspending their investments. Oil prices surging. You love to talk about gas prices, up to $86 a barrel. The Qataris say we could get you to $150 a barrel, gas up 35 cents in a lot of conservative states. So that's not good for the midterms. And the Trump administration didn't refill the strategic petroleum reserves. You can say, oh, Biden depleted it. You still had over a year to fill it up. And you shouldn't go to war in the Middle East when you don't have enough oil. And now that Russia is providing the Iranians with information on where to strike American forces, so we didn't give the Ukrainians the Tomahawk missiles they asked for to take out the drone factories, the $20,000 drones that we spend $4 million on a missile per to take out. And now the Russians are helping the Iranians, and Bloomberg's reporting that we're going to ease sanctions, oil sanctions on the Kremlin.
Are you saying this operation's not going well?
I am saying that it is not. Is that
what you're saying, Jessica?
I am saying that there are problems with this operation.
No, tell the American people right now, is the American operation against the Iranian regime going well? Tell them.
I don't know how.
You don't know that this is an effective.
I don't know how you could listen to me say that we struck an Iranian school and that there are a bunch of dead kids and just say this is going great.
Jessica, he murdered 35,000 people. If someone made a mistake when they hit a school, that's bad, but that's war.
But you don't mention it. You just say
operation is not going well. Don't lie about the war. Do not lie about the war, Jessica. You're lying.
I'm prepared to come out and say
you know the war is going well.
Do not lie about the war.
Somebody's in his ear, saying this stuff. Oh my God. Does this keep going?
Oh God! This guy comes in to try and mop up and say that he's very happy about that.
Well, he's saying this is a done deal.
He's ready to wave the banner.
I'm excited about this.
Out?
I will get my banner out, put my beard on the line. I think by summertime, it's going to be an amazing time to be an American. It's going to be an amazing time to be all over the world because the sheriff is back.
Well, the right way.
Okay.
The sheriff is back. God, these neocons just love them some more, man.
They're new neocons. That's the word on the street right now. Let me see. There's a clip of Dave Rubin going on talking about how this is the war to end all wars. Again.
Yeah.
Part 27. I don't know how many war to end all wars we've had. But here's Dave Rubin.
I think the way you can look at this, I haven't heard anyone else say this, but this seems to me to be the war to end all wars. I know that that's like bumper stickery and whatever, but it's the war to say no more of this, no more state-sponsored jihadism all over the place. And once that happens, once these countries calm down and things start turning, and we know the Gulf states are thriving because they've put aside some of this jihadist lunacy, people will start being more successful, and more successful, flourishing people are less inclined to become crazy radicals. And that's not what the people of Iran want. It is not what they had when they had the Shah of Iran.
Okay, war to end all wars. All right, so we got that. Don't lie about the war either. We know that.
He even said, I know this is a little bumper sticker.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know what else? It sounds gay. Dave, just letting you know.
Yeah, it does.
Sounds like you're sitting on one of Trump's rockets.
Yep.
You're saying that.
Here's some more.
Let's think about what has happened. Let's list it out. So we took out the Iranian regime leader, the Ayatollah Khomeini, and then...
Listen, if you're this far into it and you can't just say that without thinking about it, you probably need a shorter skirt.
40 of the top leaders. We degraded their military. You can see we've been laying that out all day, all morning. We've because they've decided to attack their neighbors, and we've kind of unified them behind us. So that's kind of worked in our favor to some degree. We've outed fake allies, Spain, England, right? Why should we ever help them again? This is a way to reveal that. We talked a little bit about the insurance situation for ships coming across the Straits of Hormuz. So there's that angle as well, which is very interesting. So to me, this already looks like victory. And so I say, let's declare victory very quickly.
All right. So the talking point around this one is that people are aware that this could get out of hand and last a really long time, and that it's time for Trump to put up the banner, the mission accomplished banner, and call it a win.
Now, that would actually be the right thing to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, technically, sure, I would be fine, but it's not going to be better afterwards.
Okay, it's not going to be better. I'm saying for a political win. For the political win to save the midterms, you say, hey, we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. We took out the Yeah, sure. His son. We just killed the new leader. We just killed his whole family.
Mm-hmm.
But
Except for the one that just took over.
I know the new leader. We killed his whole family.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be upset about anything. I'm sure.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Takes over the country.
Yeah.
But
he's going to turn the other cheek for sure.
If Trump comes out and is like, look, we're done pulling the ships back. We completed our objectives. Everything's fine. That's how you would actually make this a political win. And I think, midterms would be fine for Republicans, probably.
No, midterms were a loss before this happened.
This is my prediction. But the problem is that's not going to happen. You've got China and Russia that are going to aid Iran with technology and munitions and all kinds of stuff.
I've heard plenty of times that they're not helping at all. But
I've heard plenty that the Chinese have technical officers inside Iran.
Well, we need to share each other's news feeds sometime. My news feed's all, well, actually, it's all over the place right now. It's a lot of anti-war stuff and then a lot of
think about this.
Boomer slop.
This is if you just think about it for 1 second, this is a perfect opportunity for Russia to have another proxy war with us in Iran.
Well, yeah.
Where they can get us back for what we've
Russia
done.
And China, this is exactly what I would want.
Yeah,
if you
bog the United States down.
Yeah, this is great. Get us to use up a bunch of our munitions, a bunch of our interceptors that it takes us forever to make. This is perfect. If you were China wanting to take Taiwan, you'd be so happy that we were doing this in Iran right now. You'd have to be. And eventually we're just going to bankrupt ourselves doing this stuff where. I had a bunch of notes I was going to try and make sure I said before we started, but I'm in I have a weird predicament right now where I'm very much against the fact that we have started this war, but I'm an American, gall darn it, and I want us to win. I don't want to lose a war. Now, I don't know what winning means. I don't know what America winning in this region of the world means. I guess maybe a win would be that we never have to do anything in this area of the world again. The actual win I would like is for there to be peace in this region and not millions of people dying from all the things that we have done. I don't know what a win really looks like here, but I don't want it to turn into, even though we've warned about it turning into an Afghanistan or an Iraq or whatever, or a Syria or a Libya or a Yemen or a Somalia or something like I don't want it to turn into that. At the end of the day, honestly, I hope Trump somehow is right about something, and all of a sudden Iran is like, you know what, that their U.S. Constitution's pretty good. I think we're just going to copy paste that sumbitch over here, and then we're just gonna live like that. Okay, cool. That'd be fine. That'd be just fine. And for us to not have to spend all this money over there and have troops dying and in wars every other year in this region, that sounds fine. But for all that to happen, this has to be successful in some way, the thing that they're trying to achieve right now. And I don't see that happening right now. I went through a lot of videos on Friday's show of all these great things that are going to happen after we win this war. But for that to happen, first off, there's got to be a successful regime change that happens, I guess. And it's got to be the first ever successful Middle East regime change that we conducted. And it's got to happen in a country of 92 million people and in a much bigger country than the other ones where we tried and failed to do this. And then all of those good things would flow down afterwards.
And what's the metric on the Iranian people? Do we actually know? Because there are several that want the American people to do, or want the American government to do this, and Israel to do this, to rescue them from, the Sharia.
There likely are some, yeah.
Yeah. And then what's the ones that actually like the type and the way they rule?
Well, by polling before all of this, they would say 80% of people don't support the Ayatollah. Now, I don't know if Gallup calls people in Iran or something like that. But even if it were 20% that support the Ayatollah, well, hell, that's 18 million people right there. That's a lot. You get a small percentage of those people decide they don't want to let stuff happen. That's a lot of people you're going to have to fight if you were going to go in there and try and fight people. I don't see how this is going to be successful without the people deciding that they're going to rise up and do this. As we've said in all of these cases before, and whatever other wars it was that we were talking about, like, it's got to be the people that decide that they want to do this. We're not going to airstrike these people into democracy. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. Maybe we're getting revenge for something that happened in 1979 or 1983 or something like that. But revenge has been gotten. Ali Khamenei is dead. The people have got to rise up and do this with, no weapons and against the IRGC. And that's, but they also have to want to do it. And I've seen a lot of stuff that's happened that make me worried that they're just not going to want to do it. First off, the entire strikes in general, like, that creates a rally around the flag type scenario. You're getting bombed by another country. Innocent civilians do die in these things. And that's going to make people upset. We had the strike that hit the school, and it's still, like, I lean towards it being a U.S. missile that hit it. I think what Magoo was saying in the group is correct. The Tomahawk looks really weird on its way down. It's moving kind of slow. It's not really pointing directly at the area. It's almost like it's falling, is what it looks like. It does not look like the Iranian version of that missile that I've seen, because it's got like a little engine mounted on the bottom of it, the Iranian version. And the other thing with this school is that strike happened in the first wave of attacks by the U.S. and Israel, hours before Iran started retaliating. And so if that was an Iranian missile, then it is the first known Iranian missile that was fired during the war. And their Iranian missile happened to hit in a location that a bunch of our missiles hit intentionally. And then they have one that they fired 2 hours before all of their other ones that also magically hit an area that a bunch of our other missiles hit. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, it's an Iranian missile.
No, we definitely hit the school.
Yeah.
Let's just take accountability.
It doesn't mean it was intentionally.
Right.
I'm not saying it's intentionally. Yeah. That's not the same thing.
They hit the facility, which is connected to the school, which obviously killed upwards of 175 little schoolgirls.
Before we get to the school thing, I've got 2 more clips. Lindsey Graham is out there talking. I just have like a weekend clips thing I wanted to play because there's a lot of ridiculous stuff. And then I've got a whole folder here of the school. So on pause, what I'm putting is, for this to be like successful, the thing that people want to happen, the Iranian people are going to have to want this to happen, and they're going to have to take part in making this happen.
And they're going to need weapons.
They will need weapons.
So maybe that's what we do. We airdrop
weapons. Yeah,
depots
that don't explode when they land.
Right. No, it's just like boxes full of guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Fast and Furious.
Or just airdrop a bunch of 3D printers,
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It'll be fine. Here's Lindsey Graham. This guy needs separated from the administration immediately. He doesn't need to be allowed to talk to anyone at all. And I am happy that a bunch of Republicans are starting to call him out. Even Republicans that are happy about this war are starting to call out Lindsey Graham because he's ridiculous, of course, and disgusting and gay. And so here's him.
I'm not looking for a fair fight. If we get in a fight, I want to win it. I want to win it quick. I'm in Miami. You see this hat? Free Cuba. Stay tuned. Yep. The liberation of Cuba is upon us. It's just a matter of time now. You see this hat? Make Iran great. President Trump said the only way to make Iran great is for the people to take over. We're marching through the world. We're cleaning out the bad guys. We're going to have relationships with new people that will make us prosperous and safe. I've never seen anybody like it. This is Ronald Reagan plus. Donald Trump is resetting the world in a way nobody could have dreamed of a year ago. He is the greatest commander-in-chief of all time. Our military is the best of all time. Iran is going down, and Cuba is next.
All right. Well, we'll be watching what's next on Cuba for sure. Got a lot of...
God.
No, this is that meme of like, no, you have to finish your Iran before you can have Cuba. Come on.
How much does he drink?
I don't know.
He just sounds like he's on the edge of slurring his words.
He's been downing Cosmos all day, just ridiculous, man. Yeah, Cuba's going to happen.
Turkey's up after that.
Turkey's after that.
Where are all the men going to go for their hair transplants?
Israel's already called out Turkey. They're the new Iran. So that's going to happen. It's just, It's not going to stop. We're going to keep getting drug into this. And that's even if we won in Iran, whatever that looks like. Do we win in Iran, or does Israel win in Iran? Is that the same thing, or are those different things? I'm not exactly sure. But even if we win, it's just going to be on to the next country after that. They've already called out the next country, which is Turkey. And then Cuba here, we gotta take them out too. And Cuba, sorry, I didn't want to say it wrong. I could feel you judging me as I was saying that. All right, what else do I have here? we got some more reasons. Like, I'll play this one. They threw this out there.
Respond to that allegation. Did the U.S. hit you?
They are among the most evil people ever on earth. They cut babies' heads off. They chop women in half. What they did, take a look at October 7th. Take a look at what they've done over the last 47 years. So I know nothing about a desalinization plant other than to say, if they're complaining about a desalinization plant, we complain about the fact that they shouldn't be chopping babies' heads off, okay?
So what you're hearing there are what looks to be disproven claims from October 7th. That still, it doesn't matter if they're disproven. Like, the people who believe it are just always going to believe it. It doesn't matter. People still will talk about the babies and incubators and all that from a while back. So it's just not going to, those claims of babies having their heads chopped off, women getting cut in half. When I heard that, I was like, sir, that was a magic show. She wasn't actually cut in half. Okay. Yeah, that seems to be just a bunch of stuff that we heard. And then also we got a new imminent threat from Iran, like another reason. And the way that you know that these things aren't true, I'll just say the way you know that they're not true, is because every day or so, every other day, they'll come up with this new thing that showed why we had to attack Iran first. And the way you know it's not true is if it were true, they would have said it on the first day. Like, if that was the information they were dealing with and that led to their decision to do it, then they would have said it right then.
Also, I love how they're always like, they were going to do it, but they never actually fired a missile.
Did it, yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about?
Oh man, I just saw this clip is 4 minutes long. So Trump said Iran had thousands of missiles pointed at all these Middle Eastern countries for the last 4 months. They were going to take over the Middle East. They were going to control it all. UAE, Qatar, Oman, and Saudi Arabia, they had 1,200 missiles pointed at these countries. All these nations were afraid of Iran, and they are not anymore, but they had reason to be afraid. We have knocked the hell out of them like no other nation could, and they still have remnants left. But the last part didn't sound as good.
But we got to keep going.
Actually, yeah.
We got to keep
going. We got
going.
to get the remnants out of there.
Get the remnants.
Okay, that's some of the weekend roundup stuff. Now I'll bring up the school thing. And, like, what are you going to do? It's happened. I think, like, no one really wants to take credit for this. You don't want to say, that because it's a terrible thing. Everyone can agree it's a terrible thing. And once you present people with all the circumstantial evidence that it was likely a U.S. strike, then they'll say, well, this is war. Bad things happen in war. And then when you say, well, I thought it wasn't a war, they'll say, what are you, a commie liberal?
Don't lie about the war.
Don't lie about the war.
Don't lie about this defensive, offensive kamikaze struggle.
Here's the clip that was going around. I'm going to turn the sound off on this so we can watch it. So does that not come in weird? Like, the first time I saw it, I was like, that looks weird.
I don't know.
Like
I don't
know what they...
I don't watch Tomahawk missiles coming
Anyone
down.
in here that watches military strikes for fun can tell me that that's not what a Tomahawk looks like. Now, when I saw it hit, my actual first reaction was I imagined the explosion would be a lot bigger when it hit. I didn't really see much of an explosion, but I don't know. I'll play it. Let me just put it up here on the big screen. And
yeah, I don't know.
So what Magoo just said in the group, that is one thing I've heard, that those actually do fly lower to the ground, and they come in at a not straight down like so, but they fly lower to the ground. They come down and hit their target. And I have seen that many times. And I did not see much of an explosion. Like what Drew just said, I didn't see any there was no fireball that came out. I expected to see a fireball come out. It wasn't one. Mm-hmm. And so that's weird too. So I don't know. I'm not sure. The only weird thing is all the timelines I can find on all the different websites seem to say that this was part of the first wave of strikes. This happened during the initial U.S.-Israeli strikes. And that there are also multiple people saying that this is a Tomahawk coming in, that it looks like a Tomahawk. The missile itself looks like a Tomahawk. Now, it might not fit the normal degree, the angle that it comes in or anything like that, but that the actual missile itself looks like a Tomahawk. There are multiple like freeze frames that I've seen around. Where are they is the question right now. There is, okay. There's our reference image. If you guys can see that, left side is the freeze frame here, and then that's an actual Tomahawk. One big post I saw going around said, well, the wings aren't coming out far enough. I'm like, okay, but it could be turned at a different angle.
From the side,
like it does, you could be basically side view or tilted a little bit, and of course the wings would look really short. It doesn't look like the Iranian version, because the Iranian version has a big engine at the bottom of it. You might say, well, it's turned away from the engine. Well, if it were turned away from the engine, then the wings would be sticking straight out as you were looking at it. So it doesn't look like the Iranian version either. This is what their Tomahawk looks like, apparently. So listen, I'm not an expert on this. I'm going by this guy that Dropsite reposted, which is, let's see, what is the organization called? I can't remember. This is someone who...
It kind of looks like a Tomahawk.
It sort of looks... Yeah. The missile itself looks like a Tomahawk. I would say that. Bellingcat. Sorry, Bellingcat. That's who it is. Saying that it's a Tomahawk. So, take what you will from that. The timeline is the weirdest part, because the timing of the strike is within like half an hour of when we started our attack on Iran. And Iran didn't retaliate for like 2 or 3 hours after that. So
that's a slow response.
For it to be an Iranian response, they would have to be their first missile, and then they waited for a while afterwards, and then they fired some more after that. Yeah. So that's just kind of weird.
Could have been Israel.
Yeah, I don't know what Israel's... something tells me Israel's missiles look somewhat like ours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that... I don't know what theirs look like specifically. But we got a couple comments on this. Pete Hegseth was asked on 60 Minutes about it, and he's saying that it's under investigation. Under investigation, if I'm judging by what we heard during the Gaza war, means, yeah, we did that. We did it.
We're just trying to find the right way to say it.
Because then, like, the Biden administration, when Israel would do something like really terrible, they would just answer with, well, it's under investigation. And so once something is under investigation, it could take as long as you want for you to be able to answer the question. If you want to do a really exhaustive investigation, we'll get that finished as soon as the war's over, and we'll do that. You want us to stop warring to investigate this thing? We got important stuff going on right now, but we'll get you the answer on that for sure.
Have you made any conclusions about whether or not the United States, inadvertently or not, was involved in any military strike at that school?
Well, we're still investigating, and that's where I'll leave it today. But what I will emphasize to you and to the world is that unlike our adversaries, the Iranians, we never target civilians.
There was a report late in the week from 2 officials that it was likely U.S. involvement. Is that report false?
I've already said we're investigating.
If you could tell the American public it definitively was not us, you would tell us, wouldn't you?
I would say that it's being investigated, which is the only answer I'm prepared to give.
Okay. Well, the answer is yeah. If they knew for sure that it wasn't them, he would say that. But they're investigating right now. This clip from Air Force One was making the rounds this weekend.
Mr. President, did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hegseth? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still investigating.
But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
We think it was done. We think it was done by Iran because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions. They have no accuracy whatsoever. It was done.
So let me tell you the part of this that does matter. It matters for the war propaganda effort because in order to support this, you have to hate Iran with like as much. You have to hate Iran more than you hate high gas prices. You know,
and yeah, casualties of war.
Yeah. And so you need to believe that Iran either intentionally or accidentally killed a bunch of their own people, potentially in order to make the U.S. look bad.
By the way, hang on
so
a second.
regime puppets would
Real
parrot
quick,
this out.
If they're so inaccurate with their munitions, like what are we scared of? Why did we have to attack them?
That's a
fair
question.
If everyone was afraid of Iran, but we know that they're so terrible.
I mean, they were about to take over the whole Middle East.
What?
They can't even bomb other people without hitting their own country.
So
those idiots.
How does this work?
That's a good question.
You can't have both. Either they're an imminent threat to the entire world or they suck. Which one is it?
A better answer there would have been, well, we're doing GPS jamming and they tried to fire and we screwed with their missile and that's what happened to it. Not that they're so inaccurate that they accidentally hit their own schools instead of hitting a place that's 500 miles away, which is where the missile was. You think the guy's in there, Durka, Muhammad Jihad just has no idea what he's doing at all.
Yeah.
Come on. But also you have to be deathly afraid of him at the same time.
It sounds like, inside the country.
It's just,
I'm just going to say it now. We hit the school.
Yeah, and
or Israel did.
It doesn't mean it was intentional.
Right.
It can be an accident, but you know, when you're conducting this kind of a war that has got, if you take the United States as a whole, it's got pretty low support, of course, including Democrats and independents. It's got very low support. And so you don't want to be responsible for killing a bunch of little kids, especially when you're trying to liberate these people. And so naturally, you don't want it. First off, you don't want it to be you. The poor guy who fired the thing from the ship or the sub or wherever it came from, he doesn't want it to be a Tomahawk at all. He wants it to be Iran. And then, of course, the war propagandists want it to be Iran also because that makes Iran just that much more evil if it was intentional. Now, if it was unintentional, like Charlie just said, which I hadn't thought about, it kind of cuts against the whole they were about to have missile immunity here in a few months and we're going to take over the entire Middle East just as soon as they get that targeting thing figured out. And,
or I wonder if it could have been the U.S. Tomahawk based on coordinates given by Israel because Israel wanted them to bomb this place and it was
that was my
could have been some Israeli intelligence that they were going off of.
Yeah.
And they didn't vet the target properly.
To try and just kind of parse through all of that Jew hatred that you just heard from Charlie over there, because I know that's what you guys heard was just about how much he hates Jews and the Jewish people, the ethnicity, the religion, just basically everything about it for killing his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I think it is a potential possibility. In fact, that was the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, well, who gave them the intelligence
Your
for
anti-Semitic
this?
head.
Yes, that was, I was listening to Tucker Carlson and then I was watching this. I was like, oh, them Jews did it. Sounds like something them Jews did. Yeah. And so that's a potential as well. And it kind of brings me to this video here of these oil depots burning in the conversation we had earlier. Is that in order for this to be successful, whatever that looks like to have this new peaceful regime over there, the people have to be on your side. And I don't know for sure, because I do listen to all different opinions on this. I don't know for sure what Israel wants out of this. I don't know if they really want this perfect democracy and amazing Iran, or if they would like the region to go into chaos in order to keep the war front moving. I'm not exactly sure what they want.
What are the clearly defined objectives? The U.S. doesn't have them either. And that's a problem.
No. Do not lie about the war.
I thought this wasn't a war.
It's a limited operation. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's de-escalatory, preemptive de-escalatory, limited defensive, preemptive operation.
Costco says expanded Israeli borders. Are they trying to get to the Euphrates?
I just don't know I don't know what they want out of this, and I don't have enough information to speak on it really. So my conspiracy brain starts to think like, well, do they want what like the American people want out of this? If the American people care about it really at all? Because I see them taking actions that make it look like they don't want that. I mentioned it earlier, like how is it that they hit multiple times, people were meeting to pick successors to Khamenei, and they hit those meetings, including people that Trump said they liked for the job, that they thought were going to potentially take over, that they're all dead. And I did read that it was Israel who did most of the strikes on the leadership and successors and stuff like that. But then they don't hit this one, where Khamenei's son takes over. Like, that's weird. Okay, so we still got Ayatollah Khamenei in there. Okay, so we got to keep the war going. Still got this big bad Iran that we got to keep fighting against. You got to have the people on your side. They have to want this. They have to want to help. They got to want to fight alongside you and take out this evil regime. But then you hit a school and kill like over 100 kids. You kill a bunch of innocent civilians so far. I'm not saying that's intentional, but it happens. And then you do this thing like with the oil depots. And I don't even care what the strategic importance of this, if there was any. I've heard excuses on it like, oh, the IRGC used these specific oil depots to sell to China to fund their special SS unit that they have. And so that's why they hit this. And I'm like, you know what? You could have just shot up people who were loading up tankers or trucks or whatever at these depots. Like, you could have fired around. You didn't have to rain like toxic chemicals down on the city of Tehran in order to stop anyone from using this oil. Like, you've already pretty much stopped all commerce in this country. It's not like they're fulfilling their shipment orders right now.
Right.
For anyone. They're not going about business as usual.
How is this going to rally the civilians?
And so you create this scene outside people's houses, and then they wake up, and there's been plenty of videos. They wake up the next morning, and their cars are just covered. Good God, that looks ridiculous. It looks like something from a movie, man. That's nuts. Look at that. My God. That's a lot of smoke. And that lot of smoke right there.
It can't be good for the environment.
It's not good. And this is
what the climate activists upset about
like
this?
their storm clouds they
have. I want to show
had.
you something, because after those fires raged, there was actually rain here in Tehran this morning. And you can see here, because this is a white car, that the rain is actually apparently saturated with oil. You can see on my finger that it's completely blackened, and that's something that's been coming down for the better part of this morning. So of course that's also a concern for folks here in Tehran, that there's this rain that came down that seems to be saturated with oil.
God bless those people over there doing reports in a war zone.
That's dangerous work over there.
Yeah, that is something.
These are just things that are the people maybe at first, or maybe when there are protests going on, but once they see what this actually looks like, and they're like, my God, these people who have never done this successfully in the past are actually just destroying my home, and it's raining oil. We got to get some shipments of Dawn in here now to get all the oil off it. That's who did this war. It was Dawn, the company that makes Dawn.
Procter & Gamble.
That's who Procter & Gamble did this war. That's who it was.
They changed their name, Procter & Gamble in war.
That's what it is. And so they're going to start to have a bad feeling about this. Even people who were sympathetic to the U.S. and Israel coming in, even people who didn't like the Ayatollah and all that, they're going to be like, well, you know, as long as I followed the rules a few weeks ago, I could send my kids to school, you know, I could go to the store and get stuff, all that. I could go outside and kick the football around, you know, I could do all kinds of stuff like that. And now it's gall darn raining oil and we can't get any food. And one of my kids is dead. And you start turning people against you. So it starts to make me think, are there people acting in this war who don't want it to go well? I just judge it based off of things I see. I'm like, why would you take that action if your intention is for the people of Iran to rise up and be on your side and take over and institute this amazing democracy in the country?
It just sounds like you're trying to make this a fully anti-Semitic podcast with that kind of conspiracy theory.
I know.
So.
I know.
All right, Tucker. Well, I got to go. So it's been great.
There's our weekend roundup of the war propaganda. Where are we going from here? I have no idea. I just want everyone to keep in mind that no matter how cool it sounds to you, I even see libertarians, used to be like Austin Peterson's like big on the war right now. I like the guy. He's a nice guy. He's been on the show before.
Dave Rubin, he used to be a lefty on the Young Turks.
And now he's still a lefty. He just votes Republican.
Just full MAGA.
Yeah. And
yeah. Sometimes I have to wonder how much these people are getting paid.
It's a lot. They make a lot of money. Sure.
Yeah, but
I mean I'm not calling out Austin Peterson on the getting paid thing. I don't
propagandist.
You know, it's a good business to be in for sure. You're going to get a lot of money. The anti-war people get a lot of money too online for their show. Like Tucker's probably making plenty of money being against the war. You know, the Breaking Points people they're probably making plenty of money being against the war as well. And so yeah, they're all getting paid. I just want everyone to remember that this all has to go really, really, really well for any of these great rosy pictures that people are painting for you to like actually play out. It's got to go better than anything we've ever done, than anything we have done since like World War II or so. You know, it's got to go better than that.
And it might.
It's got to go better in Vietnam, Iraq War 1, 2, 3, however many of them there are. Every other time, Syria, Libya, Afghanistan. This has to be the time that we got everything figured out and all of our plans come into place and everything goes perfectly well. Us and Israel working together to turn Iran into this flourishing, Western-friendly democracy. It's got to happen now, or this is going to be the worst thing that we've done since like Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, with that, we hope you guys enjoyed today's show. It's hard to enjoy. It's hard to enjoy these kinds of shows because it just feels so sad. That's my number one feeling, and I keep every day I like look into what's happening with the war, and I'm just like, what are we doing? You know, is this really good for the world and people? I just, you know, I'm not saying you don't have a right to defend yourself, but I'm just against. I'm anti-death.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anti-war. Unless someone actually attacks us, then we can defend ourselves. The 7th U.S. member killed now?
He was injured on
the initial attack,
March 1st, and died. That was at a base in Saudi Arabia.
From Kentucky? It's sad to see U.S. members dying because of this action. So anyway, but if you enjoyed the information, we'll put it that way, then share it around. Leave us a rating review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Nate puts a lot of hard work into YouTube, and so you should put not very much work and just checking it out.
Just hit a button.
That's easy.
Comment.
Super easy.
Super important to comment.
If you want to spend money to support the show, then visit the links in the show notes to support the sponsors that support this show, or sign up, join gml.com, be part of the Fed Haters Club. If you do all of that, we'll be back again on Wednesday. Until then, I hope you have a good day and a good morning, Liberty.